Okay, this one is going to get a back. The back side is going to get black, and the sides are going to get black, and then a small burst. Okay, so the trick is, how do you do all that without screwing up the face? So I'm going to do the back first, and then the burst. Well, the black and the sides. And then I'll sand the face, get it all nice and clean, then burst it. That's the plan. But one thing I like to do as well, because if I was spraying black right here on the back, some paint might go through here, this hole, and somehow get over here. So to prevent that little problem, I'm going to do this. Okay. Then I got my black with a small fan. It's not tiny, but keep feeling something. Okay, so I'm aiming downward when I do this, rather than like this, where you might get overspray here. I don't know if you can see, kind of coming at it above, but pointing down, somehow hoping that will minimize the amount of overspray that could possibly get on the face. It's all about angles, 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 angles. Okay, now rather than be super concerned about getting all the way to the bottom, I'll just kind of let whatever paint gets there and try to get maybe halfway down. Okay, now I'm pulling, because this is so narrow right here, I'm pulling the trigger less, just less material is coming out. I'm getting closer because the farther away, the more it's going to spread out and possibly get there. The closer you get, the more control you have about where exactly the paint's going. So I'm barely pulling the trigger right here. Allowing less material out, because inevitably overspray is going to get on the front side when you do it that way. No, you can't really see it, but I think there's a little bit there. Anyway, so there you go. Now I'll spray the back. Kind of back up a little bit away from the body when I spray the back, because I don't want to be doing this. This will take all day. Back up, move a little bit slower so it's wet. Okay. Now I'll just kind of keep that same distance and hit the sides one more time. Far away though. Spray in the cavity just because. Okay. So I think it's covered now, but to be sure, I will check it. Okay, now I'll do the face. Let me see if my mic's still working, because the little green light was blinking, but I don't know what that means. It's still blinking. Okay, so now I'll take this off, because I don't want, look, any problems up here. So I'll wipe it off. There is a little bit of overspray here. Kind of hard to see. Not enough for me to worry about. But if you ended up with more overspray on the face than you were hoping for, you could just sand it off. Because this already has sealer on it right here. It was stained, and then it has sealer on it. So you could sand it without messing anything up. Sand the black overspray off if you had that. I can feel crumbs right here. Okay, so now I will turn my fan down, maybe not all the way down, but I'll turn my air down as well. I'm going to get really close, because I'm trying to hit this and then a little bit of the side. And again, I'm turning my gun so that most of the paint goes on the side. Rather than being like this, aiming on where some of it might get here, I turn it where most of it's going to get on the side. Hopefully you That makes sense. Close as I can. And when you get close, you might have more issues. I don't know if you could see. Let me look at the camera here. Where can you see? I'll take it out and show you. If you have too much paint and you're close like this, like here's the wall, right? It's that funky look like that. It separates because you got too much paint. So you got to use less paint when you're close, so you don't get that splattery look. But then you see how when you use less paint, sometimes it gets spitty. That could be a problem too. So there's things you can do about spittiness. Let's see, did I line it back up properly here? All right. You could put a slow reducer in your paint if you're getting the spits, and that'll help reduce it. Or this is lacquer paint, so I could add clear lacquer to it. That'll help reduce the spit. It looks covered, right? I'm not worried about the burst right now. Just trying to get that side, the top part of the side and the corner covered with the black here. So again, got my gun at a certain angle so that most of the paint is landing on the side, not on the face. And close, using not a whole lot of material. You got to go over the same area a couple times like this, but it helps you control exactly where you're putting the paint. Okay, now I'll inspect it. Make sure it looks like all covered everywhere. Okay, look for overspray on the face that I don't like. I'll tack it one more time just because. It's a tack rag. Okay. Now I will turn my fan all the way down to nothing. And this is a bigger gun. I think I got like a 1.3 tip on here, or 1.4. And you can do a small burst with a gun like this. Turn it down. Turn your ear down. I don't know how much pounds I have. Oh wait, check it out. I do have a little gauge right here. So let me see. I'm gonna have to clean it because people ask me how many pounds. I don't really think that's critical, but it's a little bit of a personal preference. I don't like a lot of air. Some people like more. I'm razor blading my gauge so I can read it because it's so full of paint here on the glass. So right now it's sitting at 100. But when I pull the trigger, it drops down to, what is that? 10. Okay? 10 pounds. All right. Got that out of the way. Now, let's get going. Burst. See, aiming off the edge of the body, and then you bring it in. Which, you're better to shoot off like this and then bring it in when you find where the paint is, rather than just start, because what if you hit here? So start off and then bring it in. That makes sense. I'm not good at explaining things. So you can still make a really tiny burst with the full-size gun. Control the material output, the distance you are from the surface, and the air, and the speed that you move. That's 4 things. Mostly though, mainly, you got to watch the paint go on. Does it look right? And stop if something looks funny, and adjust. Stop and adjust. A lot of that. There. There it is. Okay? I'll wipe it. Should I clear it just cause? I'll just put a real light coat of clear on there. Maybe it'll help make the flame pop on this thing. Flame pop. I had flame pops for breakfast. Not this clear. I'm going to get a different clear. Hold your horses. Hold. Hold. Okay, look. I'm still looking. Okay. Here we are. Here we are. Too much, too much, too much, too much. Should I do the whole thing? Just a little bit. I'm not going to put it on wet. Just kind of a little bit so you can see. The back, who cares? A little tiny bit glossy, right? Yeah. What do you think of that? You might not be your thing. Maybe you love it. Maybe you don't. But, you know, people order what they order. It's more about how to accomplish things than tripping out on the color. You know, people want what they want.